Welcome back to Crime Besties. We are at episode 80.
This is actually getting me. When I saw that I wrote down 80 this week for this episode, I'm like, oh my God.
80?
80. We need to discuss our 100 soon.
Oh, yeah, guys. Give us suggestions on what you want our 100 to be.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what? Not even half a year away.
No. I know. I thought the same thing. I'm like, 20 episodes, that's a fair few.
Yeah.
But we'll be there before we know it if we don't start thinking about it.
I know. It's going to have to be a massive one.
Yeah.
Yeah, let us know what you want us to do for our 100.
Dude.
Yeah, we're going to have to save a really special case for 100, I reckon.
Yeah.
All right, let us know what you want. Let us know what you
sure.
want. How has your week been?
Not as mental as last week, I'll say, because last week was redunculous. But this week has been... Yeah, not far off.
Oh, God.
Just,
not easing up just yet.
No, it's just, it's full on at the moment. I need to, in some parts of me, I'm like, is it already the end of term? But we're halfway and I'm like, I need more time. So don't come fast enough to be the end. But at the same time, I feel like I've done a full term's worth of work.
Yeah. We were at basketball training last night and I was talking to a couple of the other mums and they were like, it feels like this term is going on forever. Like the kids are almost ready for a break already.
Yeah.
And we're only, just over halfway through. And I almost feel like it should be almost school holidays.
Yeah. It hasn't helped the fact that I think we both sort of feel this a little bit that our kids are at a level of their sport now where there's pre-season training.
Yeah.
That I feel like it starts so soon that I'm not adjusted yet to that it starts this early. So I'm like, I feel like I'm ahead of where I should be. Does that
I
make
get
sense?
it. I totally get it.
Yeah.
Last night, Ollie had footy training and I was sitting out there watching him train and it was so nice. The weather was beautiful. It was like 25 degrees. I know. It's like 25 degrees and sunny and like just a lovely, lovely evening and a few parents were having a chat and it was really nice.
Yeah.
And then I was thinking, we are within another few months, we are going to be cursing the fact that we have to be out there in the freezing cold
in our cars watching them instead.
Yeah, with the windscreen wipers going because it's absolutely pissing down with rain.
Yeah.
But
laying garbage bags on the back seat when they come back to the car soaking wet and muddy.
That's it. Exactly. All the towels, everything that you need to make the winter sports, the winter outdoor sports, I don't know, easier in some ways. But what it reminded me of was one of the mums in Ollie's footy team last year, she was deadly serious about doing this, but I don't think I'm pretty sure she didn't end up doing it, but it was such a funny idea. You can buy these enclosed igloo-like structures.
Yes.
And they come with built-in chairs.
Uh-huh.
And they're like a pop-up tent thing and they've got little heaters in them. So you just get a battery pack. You can plug your battery pack into the heater and you're sitting in this igloo with a Perspex, like a clear plastic.
The fogging up.
Oh, my God. It'd be like Titanic, the hand. But I'm like, what a fucking great idea. Because
totally. Are there drink holders?
Yeah. Oh, I'm sure there are. If they've thought of heaters and seats, I'm sure there are drink holders in there for our coffees. And I'm like, this is actually such an amazing idea because watching sport from the sideline when it's freezing cold and wet is yuck. It's so yuck.
Oh, man.
So, maybe we need to invest in something like that to make it slightly more pleasant.
Yes. I'm pretty sure you can pick them up at Aldi too when winter hits.
Are you serious?
I'm sure I've seen something like that at Aldi. I reckon it was when we were doing soccer season and I'm pretty sure there was one on there or something that I saw.
Oh, I'm going to have to keep an eye out on the special buys. I do love an Aldi special buy.
I always look.
Yep.
And then you I always go, I'll get there and there'll be none left. Although I have to say, Aldi, I bought a vacuum cleaner, a stick vac. Mm-hmm. I just wanted one because I had a Dyson upstairs at my place that I love just having up there to whip over when I'd little bits when I was up there because I'm not up there all the time. But my Dyson had completely died. It's a total piece of shit. Dyson overrated. Anyway, controversial.
No, I hard agree. We've got a Dyson as well and I won't buy another one.
No, I wouldn't buy another one. So I was not buying a Dyson, but I love having stick vac up there.
Yeah.
Aldi had one for $100.
Oh.
I'm like, you know what? I'm just going to fucking do it.
See how it is. Yeah.
It is way better than my Dyson. I'm going to say this is next bit is controversial. It's better than my Shark.
Ooh.
Yeah. Shark, it's damn good. I actually reckon that this Aldi one for $100 did better than that upstairs.
Amazing.
So good. So for $100.
Does
grab one.
Grizz ever go upstairs?
No.
Okay, because
Not
I'm like,
unless
I
we,
wonder.
you have to fully coax him.
Yeah, okay. You have to push him up. Yeah, I can imagine he wouldn't be.
Oh, they always have to come down them.
Yeah, it's too much. Because I'm like, I wonder have you tried it with dog hair?
Yeah, so I did. Look, when I first put it together,
Yeah.
I did downstairs and I'm like insane.
And it did really well.
Amazing. That's when that was when I went, it's better than my shark, because that's the whole thing. My shark is so heavy.
Yeah.
I don't like doing the stairs with it.
Yep.
So that was why I was like, I want like a stick upstairs that I can just do this. It's more doing the actual physical stairs.
Yeah,
the hard
right.
bit with it, because it's just, it's too bloody heavy. But it does a great job. But this thing does better.
Oh, amazing.
I'm so blown away. Yeah. Aldi stick vac. If you see them, grab one.
Oh, I might actually have to do
Yeah.
that.
Yeah. I mean, because I don't use it consistently, like it definitely, my shark gets used like every 3
Every
days,
day,
like
yeah.
pretty much, as a minimum with the hair at the moment. So from the dog, I mean, not just me.
Although you're a contributing factor.
I am definitely a contributing factor, and the long.
Have you
hair.
seen how much hair you've got? I've got like 4 hairs on my head. You've got like an absolute a thick mop. It's insane.
This is my hair, my perimenopause thinned out hair.
Oh,
So
fuck
I'm
off. You can
loving it.
fuck right off.
I can actually get a hair tie around it now. So
Oh,
it's-
fuck off.
Yeah, no, it's fine.
Meanwhile, my ponytail's like thin as anyway.
Oh God, I hate how thick mine. But it's just there's too much of it. I can't get rid of it. Take some of mine, please. Like, loving my 4 thinned out hair, that is for sure. The one positive to perimenopause.
Negative for me. I don't need less hair.
No, oh my God, I know everyone doesn't get what they want. They do. Yeah.
Oh no, you always want what you don't have. We've got a what do you call it? A robo vac that does
Yes,
vacuuming and mopping, and that is
I want that.
amazing. I
Yeah.
love that. But we
my
don't
next one.
like Piper doesn't shed really, so
Yeah.
it's not I don't know how it would go with pet hair.
Yeah,
I'm not sure.
Yeah, definitely not Grizz hair.
No,
a
that's
whole next
thick
level.
and there's so much of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, all
So I
the
need-
tufts.
Oh God, they're the tufts or the tumbleweeds.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, Grizz.
But to add to the pet scenario at the moment.
Oh yeah, go on.
We had our new frogs arrive last weekend.
Oh yeah, what are their names?
Oh, okay. I actually love this.
Me too.
So Brody got 1 and Mason got 3 because it was his birthday present, Mason's. And Brody is renting a space for his frog in the enclosure. And so he has named his single marsh frog Waffles.
Love it.
So little waffle, waff waff.
Waff waff. Now, is Kyle jealous of Waff Waff?
No,
Okay.
and I wouldn't be either. Waffle is not the cutest of things. It's a weird
But
looking.
neither is Kyle.
No. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm giving Kyle credit here. Waffle is very odd looking.
Okay.
And he's a marsh frog, so he kind of lives underground, so you don't really see him too often.
Okay.
So then we have
Great pet.
So then Mason has 2 brown tree frogs.
Okay.
And also a marsh frog.
Right.
And the 3 of them are called Kevin, Stuart, and Bob, aka the Minions.
Love it.
Which is just so I'm constantly. So where's Kevin? What's Stuart up to?
Fully buying into it.
Oh, it's
you have
so
to.
funny. Oh, you have to. You have to. The frogs themselves, look. Do you know what? They're actually quite cute.
I need to know if they're noisy.
No. Well,
No croaking?
I think I've decided we've got all females.
Okay.
There's been no croaking.
Is there such a thing as a frog sexer? You know how there's like chicken sexers and they have to see if they're girls or boys, and if they're
Yeah,
boys
right.
they get, and if they're girls they can go and lay eggs.
Yeah, not that I'm aware of, and I don't know that I'll even Google search that because that'll make me.
Imagine that coming up on your history.
Oh God, yeah. No, I don't know.
So you think you were just lucky enough to get
think-
girls?
I reckon we might be at this stage, but
Okay.
also it's off season, so we'll just wait and see. Maybe things will change
Oh Jesus.
when we get into a different season.
Okay.
I don't know.
I'll
But
watch
at the
this
moment,
space.
no croaking yet.
Okay.
But the thing that does make noise is the fucking crickets.
Oh, where do you keep them?
At the moment, well, they're in a container, in containers, and they're just staying next to the enclosure at the moment.
Okay.
Yeah, but that's so. We had a bit of a mishap. I said to them, like, the boys, I showed them what to do, and I was doing okay with, like, getting the crickets. I did unfortunately make a mistake in the laundry the other day, and when I was trying to get them out, because you've got to coat them with calcium powder, and that's the hardest bit. Anyway, trying to do that with them, and I release.
But how do you, I don't understand how you get a cricket out of a container when they just jump.
Yeah. So yeah. Okay. So these ones just did jump, and I had 3 of them escape into my laundry.
Oh, for fuck's sake!
So I managed to catch all 3 of them and get them back into the container I needed them in. So then from there I went, okay, we're going to change how we do this. So now we do I open the container and then put it into the enclosure. I take the lid off, and then if some jump out, they jump out. And I have with these giant tweezer things, and then you dip them in calcium powder and put them in the enclosure.
Well, they're still alive.
Oh yeah. Okay. They've got to be alive.
Oh, okay.
And then put the lid back on and take it out.
Okay.
So I was like, okay, this isn't that hard. I've done it a few times. Boys will watch me. Okay, you boys are going to have a go at this. It's not hard.
Oh, God.
And I said, don't worry about the calcium powder because we don't have to do that every time.
Okay.
Just get some frogs in there. I get some crickets in there. So the 2 of them, I don't know what the fuck happened, but all of a sudden I hear this, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. And they dropped something. And anyway, crickets apparently escaped all into the living room.
How many?
I don't know.
Oh, Jesus.
And so I was like, oh my God. So I got the vacuum cleaner, and I vacuumed under the cabinet a bit, trying to suck them out if they went under there and, all this. Anyway, as we then sat down on the couch later, the boys would be like, Mum, look, a cricket. Like, shit. All right. I hand caught 4 crickets.
Oh, you're like Mr. Miyagi.
Well, no, they didn't call me Mr. Miyagi. They reckon that I'm like Steve Irwin. And I'm like, oh yeah, call me the cricket hunter instead of the crocodile hunter.
I love it. Meg Irwin.
Like, yeah, crocodiles, crickets,
Same.
It was so funny.
You're going to have to practice with your chopstick.
I know. I really will. Trying to get them with the tweezer things was like insane.
Oh, mate. Oh, you're a better woman than I. You really are.
No, I'm not. I'm insane. It's ridiculous. It's so stupid. But God, it's entertaining.
Oh, I love it. I love it.
Oh, God.
So when I was so you know how our algorithms are tailored in a certain way, right?
Oh, God,
and rabbit holes happen. So this week, I think I was actually looking up. So we had heaps of case suggestions come through from different people this week.
Yes, which has been great.
Which has been awesome. Yeah, we've added quite a few and ones that I didn't know about. Yep. So before I add them to the list, I just have a quick look and just see, is there enough in this?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I was looking this up, but that's obviously fed my algorithm, right? Mm-hmm. And I came across this case. Now, it's certainly not something that we can do a full episode on, but I wanted to talk about it today because it is fucking fascinating. Okay. So this happened in Japan in November of 1993.
Right.
It's fucking tragic. So a 32-year-old woman by the name of Namiko Takaba was murdered in her own home with her 2-year-old son present. Right? This is in 1993. And apparently it was an absolute bloodbath.
Oh, God.
It was a brutal, brutal murder. And so her husband, his name was Satoru Takaba. He spent about $145,000 over the subsequent 26 years still paying rent on their unit, on their house. And he left it it had been untouched. So when the investigation happened into her murder, the police back in 1993 couldn't do anything. They collected samples for DNA and that kind of thing, but it never led anywhere. Nothing ever really happened.
Okay.
In order to preserve the crime scene until her murderer was found, he and his son moved out of there.
Yep.
But he kept that apartment.
Wow.
Without touching it, no one went in there for 26 years.
Yeah, right.
Until end of last year, end of 2025, I think it was in November of last year.
Yeah.
Some blood stains. So the police would go in and maybe take extra bits of evidence and that kind of thing because they knew he was preserving this crime scene.
Yeah.
And they did that and they found the person who murdered her 26 years after the fact.
Wow.
Right. So the other thing is, in Japan, there was a statute of limitations for being convicted of a murder, and I think it was something like 10 years. It was not much at all.
No.
So her husband he actually ended up being part of a team of people who abolished the statute of limitations. So there is no statute of limitations anymore for murder. There should never be.
There shouldn't be.
He did that in 2010.
Knowing that
his wife's murder
if they did even find out who it was, they're not going to get convicted.
Yes.
Love that.
Love this.
Wow, what a dedicated human.
Now, what they found was that the murderer was a classmate of his wife.
No.
They'd been on the same tennis team.
Right.
And they think the police now pose the what's the word? The MO, like the reason she did it.
Yeah.
Is because there was an unrequited love there.
Yeah. So he stalked her and basically
it was a female.
Oh, wait. Oh, sorry.
Yep.
Wow.
A female by the name of Kumiko Yasufuku.
I mean, because in Japan,
it doesn't
crime
happen.
Rates are so low.
So low.
And like this kind of murder just doesn't happen. So, wow.
Isn't that amazing?
That's incredible.
Yep.
Well, her husband, oh my God.
Yeah, hats off to him.
Absolutely. But also, I hope in doing all of that, he also was able to go on and live his life though too. For his son's sake, if anything.
Yeah, I couldn't find a lot about what had happened aside from this advocacy kind of work that he'd done. So he obviously... He didn't let it go.
No.
So it would have impacted his life for sure.
Absolutely.
But yeah, crazy.
That's wow.
Crazy.
That is crazy.
Yeah.
Gosh. Whoa. I mean, that's so much to put into that of like, I just want to, I've got so many questions around like the preserving of that room and what, because I mean, natural things occur, like in a space like that. And like,
I question the smell.
That was my first thing. Like, did he clear the fridge out or did he like,
I believe it wasn't just left.
Yeah.
But I'm like, if he left the blood stains on the floor and that kind of thing, I'm like, oh, that would, well, after a while it actually probably wouldn't smell. But while it was doing it, no, actually probably still would smell.
Poor neighbours.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. I couldn't find anything about that.
And would like the DNA in like the blood like that, would it become not usable at a point?
No, I think if it had dried and
it would remain.
They could still use it because there was so much of it too. It's not like it was trace. From what I can gather, it was an absolute bloodbath.
And he left that. It wasn't like he cleaned up, but it was cleaned. But obviously, how it's never clean.
Yeah, no.
So they didn't even do that.
No.
He was like
he literally left it.
Whoa.
Yeah.
God. Sorry for any men out there who his wives. Wow, you've got to live to that standard now, guys.
100%. 100%. Yep. What an absolute, just amazing.
Wow. Oh,
yeah,
God.
Crazy.
Well, I mean, he got ruled out pretty quick, I dare say, of like being like, because he'd be prime suspect, first.
Definitely.
Definitely was not.
No.
Wow.
And then the other thing, have you seen the latest update in the Nancy Guthrie disappearance?
No, that sort of dropped off my radar.
Yeah,
What's going on there?
Well, same. I was thinking about it the other day and I'm like, I actually haven't heard much about it.
No.
But, so you know how there was that doorbell camera footage?
Yes.
Okay. So obviously that's been put out to the world. I mean, we've seen it. We're in Australia.
Yeah.
And it's obviously all over social media. And so you've got your social media sleuths who are like, we're going to fucking figure out who this person is.
Seriously, I really think that cases like this need to be handed to a group of like retired women.
Sleuths? Yeah, bloody oath. Yeah. So what happened from that was this bloke by the name of Luke Daly was identified by multiple sources and all of that sort of stuff. And he was actually detained in a SWAT raid because they thought he was linked to her.
Yeah, I remember that happening too. Yeah,
disappearance, right?
Yep.
So what they're saying now is that he actually isn't the person.
No.
And yeah, so like I feel like, you say let's hand this to internet sleuths, yes.
Yeah.
But we can clearly, obviously, very easily go down a path that may not be quite right. And now this bloke is 1.1 million.
Wasn't her like son-in-law he was kind of a little bit of a...
I'm not sure. Nothing's really come of that.
No, it went quiet on that entirely. And I was like, well...
The FBI...
I don't know, someone who knows her is, to me, a right place to start.
Oh, I think so too.
Yeah.
There's a $1.1 million reward out.
Right.
I'm dying to know what happened.
I know. Do you really think she's alive now?
No, I don't.
This is the thing.
I don't.
Ugh.
Anyway. watch this space.
Well, the other thing we probably talk about too, though, is what happened yesterday.
What happened yesterday? What have I missed?
Greg Lynn.
Oh, tell me. I don't know.
You don't know?
No.
Oh, my God. Okay, so Greg Lynn, yesterday the judge came back with his ruling on whether or not he got bail. And it was denied.
Oh, thank fuck.
I was driving along when it came on the radio, and I was like, yes, yes. Like, thank God. Like,
he couldn't have been let out. Like, that would have been
dangerous. The judge to decide.
Yeah, that would have been dangerous to society.
I think so too. I mean,
have you also seen Scott Peterson? So there's a new documentary apparently being made by A&E at the minute.
Yeah,
and it's about. It's like from the perspective of, I think, his legal team and why they are appealing his sentence.
Yeah,
and they're pushing for a new trial. Yeah. So apparently that's going to be the subject of a new documentary. So that, I think that'll be an interesting one to watch.
It will be.
But, I mean, we feel how we feel about that.
That's one we haven't done, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We need to. I feel like we now need to wait for this to play out before we can do the Lacey Peterson.
And there's a lot
stuff.
of people who think that he's innocent.
Yeah, yeah. And I'm just really interested to watch this space, and I believe from what I've been reading, there are grounds for a new trial.
I would.
So I think that will happen
previously.
Yeah. So that'll be an interesting one to see through.
This is where I think, and again, Greg Lynn's case, I think highlights this entirely, that there needs to be a relook at laws of how we can stop. I mean, you need guilty people being put away and innocent people will not.
Yeah.
I fully understand that. But like in this case where with like Greg Lynn, where there is clear evidence that he has admitted to being there, to destroying the bodies, to, okay, he needs to get something. He can't, I just can't understand he's off of one charge already entirely.
I know.
The fact that he is only now having to appeal, oh my God, Clay's murder,
Carol
Clay's murder is just beyond my comprehension.
I know, especially you say the death of Russell was accidental or whatever.
Yeah,
but you still tampered with a dead body. You moved a dead body.
You still
hit
it.
You hit it.
You didn't go to the police at all at any point. Yeah. I just feel like even if we take his story at face value of what he has admitted, you still belong in jail for something.
Yeah, okay.
That's what I feel that justice is not.
I fully agree. Like I can't.
The families alone of what they had to go through of not knowing because you chose to not tell anyone what happened.
Yeah, and
it should be enough.
To me, I feel really sorry for Russell Hill's family because, I feel for his wife. I feel for her because of the situation and circumstance that he was in when he died.
Yes.
That's one thing for her to have to process and for his children as well, for people who knew him, but especially for his wife. And then on top of that, for Greg Lynn not to be convicted of his murder. It's disgusting.
When he admitted to what he admitted to.
I know, exactly. So he needs to be at least convicted of that.
Yeah.
Anyway, again, watch this space.
Yeah.
All right, shout outs for today. Patreons. Yes. We have 2 new Patreons, Amber Armstrong and Azara R, who Azara actually gave us some really good case suggestions. I think it was her case suggestions I was looking up when I came across the Japanese story.
Yep.
And then we had a coffee bought for us, some coffees bought for us by Saley J, who's a North Carolinian via New Jersey, but originally from a beach town in Connecticut. So thank you very much to everybody for your support. Thank you to everyone. I've noticed we've actually had a huge amount of engagement in terms of shares and that kind of thing on the socials, and people making lots of comments and that kind of thing. Especially, we really appreciate the comments by Sarah Atkinson. She actually was commenting on how slow 9-year-olds are. She's like, wait until they're 14.
Yeah, and I actually, that is my biggest fear is teenagers.
Sorry, hold on, sorry. They get slower? Yeah. Is that even possible?
I was thinking that sloth in Zoolander.
Oh,
Zoolander.
yeah.
Oh, my God.
Zootopia.
Oh, my God, my brain.
Yeah. No.
Oh, that's exactly what they all look like, isn't it?
Yeah, 100%. And then
hurry up.
another really lovely comment on our socials from Tracy Vaughan. So please keep them coming, everyone.
Oh, I have to say too, there was a heap of comments in a group that I'm in, and as a it's like podcasts kind of group, like just in general, no, true crime podcasts specifically. And a lot of people put suggestions in there for podcasts and things to listen to. And I saw someone asking about specifically wanting some banter in a a true crime podcast, and I was like, oh, this sounds like they're describing us. And I went to go and comment, and I didn't know to, because we had multiple people suggesting us, which was so cool to see. That was amazing. So thank you to all
What the
those people
hell?
who
That's
suggested us.
amazing.
Yeah. There's even a particular comment was like, I second this, I second True Crime Besties. So yeah, like it was multiple people responding.
Oh my God, that
saying,
actually makes me feel like really like,
I actually screenshot it because I was going to send it to you and I forgot. So
can you send it to me?
Yeah,
I
I
want to keep
will.
that.
It was really cool. I was really impressed. I was like, oh my gosh, because normally I go in and go, check us out, and tag the page or whatever.
Yeah.
And I always think, oh God, as the person who
produces it.
Is that a little bit, but I'm just trying to put it out there for people, like find us elsewhere. But like for other people to do that for us, I think it speaks even more in the person who, clearly I'm going to say we're good. Other people saying it.
Although I think we're our own harshest critics, to be fair.
That's true as well.
Actually, no, we're not our harshest critics.
No, we didn't say that we're, sorry, all those comments in things, please come back.
Yeah. I know.
No, it's so funny, yes. Yeah.
All right.
We don't feel sorry for people who like us. That's my favourite.
I love it.
Oh, God.
Okay, so let's get into today's case, because bloody hell, Peter will be in the city by the time this band is finished for today.
Jesus, yes.
Yeah.
Maybe I can edit some out. I'm so good at that.
Don't you dare.
No, I won't.
He deserves a whole train ride of just listening to our banter. Okay, so today we're covering the case of Stephanie Scott. This case is, I remember it happening. It is absolutely, oh my God, the most tragic of circumstances.
Yeah.
And it's a big, well, there's not a huge amount. The story is the story. We kind of know everything there is to know about it, which is in some ways a good thing, because I think we can learn, I think we have learned a lot from this, and I think there has been, different things that have happened, different procedures that have happened, and things that have come from this that, even though this is the most tragic thing and it should never have happened, learnings have come from it and things have come from it.
I think we can still do better, but
Of course we can always do better.
Yeah.
We can always do better. So Stephanie Claire Scott was born on the 14th of October in 1988 in Sydney. She was born to parents Robert, or Bob, and Marilyn Scott. She had 2 sisters and 2 brothers. Big family.
Yeah.
I can't imagine having 5 kids.
5 kids. Holy crap, man.
Her mum and dad are the most gorgeous, down-to-earth, like you can just tell they are salt-of-the-earth type of people. Mm-hmm. Really, obviously very family-oriented, very much, loved their children, loved their life.
Yeah.
And just absolutely lovely. At the time of all of these goings on, Stephanie was engaged to a man by the name of Aaron Leeson Woolley. They'd been together for 5 years, and they'd actually met at high school. Didn't sort of have a relationship during that time, but remained in similar circles and would socialise together.
Yep.
And at Aaron's 21st, they actually got together. So, and were basically inseparable from that point onward. They just loved one another very, very much. And even during this time, Stephanie had gone off to university in Wagga.
Yep.
So she attended Charles Sturt University. She was studying a Bachelor of Education, of Secondary Education. And even though they were, Wagga's probably like a couple of hours drive.
A couple of hour drive, from where they were living.
From where Aaron was living. They still stayed together throughout that whole time.
Yeah, they were separate, but they were still together.
Yeah, and they did anything they could to see each other on weekends and catch up whenever they could. They definitely kept their relationship alive via text messages and phone calls. And Aaron has since said that during their relationship, they didn't really even go a few hours without checking in with each other, sending a text, sending something. They
were used to like long distance relationship, and they were good at it, like kind of thing, in that sense that they knew how to communicate like that.
Yeah. Which is lovely, because I think, especially in a university environment, that would have been really tough.
Yeah.
But, they did they stuck it out. So after Stephanie graduated from university, she got her first job at a very, very small town, Leeton High School.
About 10,000 people in the community.
Yeah, and the high school only had a few hundred kids.
Yeah.
So it wasn't big. But then you look at the footprint of the school, I'm like, they had really good facilities.
Really great facilities. I know, yeah. When I seen aerial shots of it, I was like, oh, good high school.
Good high school, like really nice, lots of buildings, lots of so much space, like really, really cool, which is awesome. She was employed there as an English and drama teacher.
Yep.
And the students all describe her as being somebody, like she was 26 years old at the time of this incident, but she'd been working there, I think,
3 years. Yeah. I think she'd been there. Yep.
So she was young.
Yep.
It was her first job out of university, and so I think the students really related to her. And in a school of that size, I feel as though she would know, all the students would know all the teachers, whether you had her as a teacher or not.
This is it. There was actually a student that was interviewed on a news story, and it broke me when this young girl, would have been like, sort of 15, 16, and she said about it, like this is when they were looking for her, they didn't know what had gone on yet, but she said she's just the teacher when you've got problems at home, no matter whether you were her student or not, you knew you could go and speak to her. Oh. And I just thought that is just in a rural community like that, there, where you are limited of how many people in your life, you can go to potentially. I think to know that she was someone, regardless of being your teacher or not, she was a teacher that would be there for you and listen.
Yeah.
Oh God, she was clearly damn good at her job.
Yeah. Did you have a teacher like that at school, or do you have somebody? Did. Yeah, same. I can think of actually two teachers who I feel like, I had that kind of impact on me. Yeah. One in primary school and one from high school. Same.
One from primary, one from high school. That's probably why I ended up doing what I did probably in the end. Like,
wow, okay.
Yeah, because teachers do, teachers do make marks on kids, they and so if, it's just impressive in her first couple of years of teaching, really, that's the and I reckon they're probably your big years of teaching, because that's when you're naive
enough.
Jaded. You're not jaded.
And you probably, she didn't have her own children at this time.
This
so
is it. You're very committed.
Very committed.
Yeah, that's it. But teaching was in her blood too, because her dad was a teacher and a principal of a school. So I think it was, almost bred into her this, this nature. But yeah, so she was clearly loved by her students.
Absolutely. Yeah. She was described by the principal of Leeton High School as bright, bubbly and very fun-loving.
Yeah.
And she really was, but she was so dedicated to her job.
Yes.
So dedicated. So much so that on Easter Sunday, so April the 5th, 2015.
So we should just say, like, I think you were going on to it before, but
sorry.
That they were living in Leeton, as in like that Aaron, when she got the job at Leeton, Aaron and Stephanie made the decision that instead of doing living remote to each other that way, that they would live together. So they moved into Leeton them together, and he found a job locally doing what he was doing. So it all sort of was going really well for them in that sense. And then we should say, I guess, on April 11th, 2014, they became engaged.
Yes.
And so they were absolutely ecstatic. So really excited to start that next chapter of their lives, which was clearly the right thing. They were living together. They'd already been living together in Leeton and living a great life. They were really on their way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's so true. And they were actually due to be married a year later. So a year after they got engaged, they were due to be married. So, which was only a week after Easter.
Yeah.
So,
which true teacher doing it in the school holidays.
That's right. I mean,
the dedication right there.
She's just, but I feel like her dedication is like another level above even.
Oh, yeah.
There's always those teachers who go above and beyond, and she was absolutely one of those people because, so on Easter Sunday on the 5th of April in 2015, so the night before, so on the 4th of April, they were actually invited to a party back at their hometown. And Stephanie was like, oh, you know what? I'm going to stay at home. I've actually got a few things to do for the wedding, which was only a week away.
Yep.
And she wanted to get a few things done for the teacher who was going to be taking over from her, because even though she was getting married on the school holidays, their honeymoon, which was to Tahiti, was going to be extended beyond the school holidays. So she wanted to have all of her lesson plans and stuff, ready
Set up
for
and
that.
ready to go.
Yeah,
Yeah.
ready for that substitute teacher to come in and hit the ground running with her students.
Yeah.
So she said to Aaron, you go off, you go to that party, no worries, and I'll just stay back and get all these things done. Now, apparently in terms of preparation for her wedding, she had done everything herself. Like, as in, I'm not saying she begrudgingly did it. She wanted to do everything herself.
Huge. She was so ready for this and wanted it so badly.
And
like it was
so excited.
Yeah.
She'd had her Hens Day the weekend before, and which was a really lovely day. Like, you can see photos of, especially there's a really lovely photo that's available. You can just Google it, of her and her mum, and Stephanie's wearing one of those bride-to-be sashes, and she just looks. She's so beautiful.
She really is.
And her mum looks. Her and her mum look so similar.
They do.
And her mum just looks. They just have the same
Beaming.
smile. They're beaming. They're so happy. They're so excited. Her mum and dad loved Aaron so much. He was like another son to them. I mean, they'd known him ever since they were in the kids were in high school.
Aaron went to high school where her dad was principal.
Yeah.
And he had developed a good relationship with him at school.
So even that says a lot, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah, they were definitely, this was meant to be, I think, almost.
100%. 100%.
Yeah. So, okay. Basically on that day, on the Easter Sunday, now, again, speaking of dedication, going into school on Easter Sunday, which is the day that nothing happens, nothing's open. No, everyone's out doing family things. Stephanie decided to go to the school to finish off her lesson plans. Mm-hmm. Stephanie didn't actually have her own key to the school, so she went to one of her colleagues' houses, and the colleague went to the school with her, unlocked the door and gave Stephanie the keys to lock back up when she was finished. These keys were on a lanyard and quite a distinctive
red
set
and white,
of keys. Yep.
Like lanyard.
Yep. And
I think they had Leighton Heights on them or something like that.
I believe so.
There was marked in some way.
And there was something on the lanyard that sort of made them distinctive in that visually people knew that they belonged to this particular teacher.
Yeah.
So what Stephanie did when she got to school on that day is she actually went straight to the English staff room and did all of her prepping. Apparently, as soon as she got to the school, she logged in and she sent an email to the bus company that she'd hired to transport all of her wedding guests, just to confirm timings and that kind of thing, because it was only a week away, I suppose. And I guess, the fact they were getting married in Leeton, but they had guests.
Family and friends were 3 hours away where their hometown sort of thing. So
everyone was coming to the town, so they organised transport to and from the wedding, which is great.
Amazing.
I would have loved that.
Yes.
You don't have to worry about it. Have a few bevies and whatnot. So she did that as soon as she got to the school. Then she spent a couple of hours. I think she and Aaron had some text conversations during that morning.
They had, and to the point where he had let her know that he had left where he was at this at the hometown.
Yep.
Which they both knew the length of that trip being sort of a 3-hour trip.
Yep.
That they had communicated already of roughly she knew roughly when he was due back, but they'd also said that they would communicate throughout the day. And he'd sort of left the message with like, I'll chat to you later, like kind of thing, as in I'll message you as I'm on my way again, like kind of thing. So he'd left, and the plan was to communicate again before he even got home, and obviously that they would get together once they got home. And he was planning. I think he'd booked a restaurant.
He had
for that night as well, so that she was aware of plans beyond the next few hours of her working at the school and doing that job. That there was things to do.
Yep,
yeah,
that's it. So she spent a couple of hours at the school preparing her lesson plans, and it got to the point where she'd kind of finished up and she needed to go into a certain I don't know whether it was like her actual classroom that she went into, but she needed to use a special code to go in there to disarm the alarm.
Yes.
So she disarmed the alarm, I think it was at like 1:31 or something like that.
Yeah.
I've got it written down. Here we go. Yeah, it was 1:31. And then she rearmed it at 1:38. So she's gone into this particular classroom where she had her own code, so they know it was her because it was an individualised code. So we know that at 1:38 she rearmed that alarm.
Yeah.
And is likely has gone to leave the school at that point.
Yes.
When she's left the school, she's encountered a cleaner.
Well, she did see him earlier. Well, no, sorry, I shouldn't say that. He saw her earlier. He did say he saw her in that staff room on her laptop working. He believes that she knew that he was there.
His car was in the same car park as her.
Yeah, so I don't think, and because I've been in many schools on my own doing similar to what Stephanie has done, that it's very eerie because kids are noisy, and when the kids aren't there, it's like what it's a weird feeling.
I bet it
you
would
hear
be.
the smallest noises.
Okay.
So I dare say I would personally, this is how I would have felt pulling up, seeing that someone else's car was there, and that you probably would have recognised whose car it was potentially as well. That you'd be like, oh, okay, I'm not here by myself. So you would hear the noises and kind of know that'll be so and so doing what they
Cleaning
do,
or whatever,
right?
Yep.
So I think that would have been almost comforting to her at that point of like, someone who else is meant to be here, like as in, well, meant to. I'll keep that for later.
We'll come back to that. Yep.
But like someone that you have seen to be in the area and is employed by that.
Yeah,
that
by
space,
the school. Yep.
then you would be like, okay, that's okay. That noise is fine. Like, because otherwise the creak of every wall and anything is
creepy.
Oh my God.
Yeah, I can imagine it would be.
Yeah.
So as Stephanie is walking out of the school, she sees this person who she knows is a cleaner at the school, and she says, "Oh, see you later. Have a lovely Easter."
Yes.
Aaron comes home from, where did they live? Canawindra.
Yes.
And he gets home and he's like, oh, that's really weird. Steph's car isn't in the driveway. She drove a red Mazda, and which he expected her to be home because she only had a couple of hours of work. He had been messaging her and he tried to call her on his way home, but she hadn't answered. And he thought, oh, she's either deep in whatever she's doing in work, or she's let her phone go flat, and that's why we can't.
He was like, that's unusual for her, but I guess
it
happens.
Happen. Yeah.
Yeah.
So he gets home and he's like, really strange. She's not here. He waits at home for a little bit and then he decides to go out and look for her because the town of Leeton is small. It's got one main road really, and then there's a couple of other points of interest like the school. So he's driven down the main road, hasn't seen her car. He's driven to the school, her car's not there. He's then driven around like the streets where he knows her friends live, like work colleagues and other friends. Her car's nowhere to be seen. So he goes home and he's like, this is so weird. Obviously he's trying to call her still, no answer. And he ends up that night, he actually phones all of her friends in Leeton to say, have you seen her? And no one had seen her. No one knew where she was. She was also supposed to return those keys to that colleague of hers and they hadn't been returned. So that was obviously of note as well because that was so out of character. So she wouldn't do that.
Not who she was.
And she also wouldn't ever want to worry anyone. And Aaron was worried. And her friends who Aaron had spoken to was sort of a bit worried too. This is really strange. Aaron ends up going to bed that night, very restless sleep. I doubt he would have slept at all.
He would have felt sick.
He would have felt horrible. The next morning he wakes up and Steph's still not at home.
I don't know if he slept at all.
Yeah, well, he early. It was very early hours of the morning that he then contacted her family.
Yeah.
They immediately get in the car and come to Leeton to help look for her, and they did. They looked for her for the rest of that day.
Yeah, because they sort of thought that in Leeton there's a number of like sort of irrigation ditches and things like that potentially if she'd driven somewhere, there was a chance that maybe she'd had a car accident and that she was stuck somewhere. Like, and this is sort of, I guess, the positive thinking, and that's the best case scenario, I guess, in this. Like, she's just had a car accident. She's needs help. We just need to get to her. Like,
God, even that's a scary thought.
Exactly. That's right. That's scary enough.
Yeah.
But, I guess that's what you're hoping at this point when she hasn't turned up. You're kind of like, she's had a car accident. She just needs help. We'll get to her. We'll get there.
I feel like that would be where your mind would go. Like, So by 4:30 p.m. though, they decided, we need to report this now to the police. So Aaron goes to the local police station and does so, reports her as a missing person. And look, they take it pretty seriously.
They take it very seriously immediately, don't they?
Which is great.
They get helicopters up, everything.
Yeah, but they assumed the same thing. They assumed that she'd either had a car accident, had gone off the road somewhere, was in a ditch, was unable to get
very
out.
quickly, in any of these scenarios, you sort of go, future husband, has she, getting cold feet? Has she gone to, go and like have some time to herself because, oh God, am I doing the right thing marrying this person? But police very quickly, from talking to Aaron and her parents, were like, oh, that's not the scenario
and
here.
Everyone they spoke to, like all the colleagues in Leighton were like, no,
that's not who she is. No.
No.
She was so excited about this wedding. There is no way that that's what she's doing. Like,
yeah, but I understand the police having that question.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
No, I totally agree with them going
but
down
it
that
didn't
path.
also stop them from looking for it. It's not like they went, oh, let's wait another 24 hours. No. They were on
still
it straight
looking,
away.
but they were like, it was like, oh, maybe this is the scenario. Maybe she just needs some time. But they were very quickly like, oh, actually, let's just not even bother thinking about that path anymore because that's not who she was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which good on them. Good on the police for listening to them and to the people who knew her best.
And not dismissing that of like, oh, she'll just turn up.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah, as you said, they got helicopters up in the air very, very quickly. They had obviously patrol cars going out searching. Stephanie's family were out searching. And unfortunately, to no avail. No. And it was just like I can't imagine how harrowing that would be. Not only for Aaron but for her family. Like
God, yeah.
how I just can't. I actually just can't imagine it.
No.
All right, so I guess we get to the point where her body is found.
Well, I guess before that, like they sort of start.
Time-wise.
Yeah. So obviously they're looking at, what's going on here. There was actually a report from someone who knew Stephanie that had said actually that she had seen Stephanie at the supermarket at about 1:00, which at the time they took that on face value, that's, truth. And so that threw their timeline a little bit, that if that's where they basically it shifted where they were looking for her. Because they weren't then looking at the school so much as they were then, okay, well, she was at the supermarket. That was after whatever time she thought she saw Stephanie at the supermarket was after she'd been at the school. So they were like, okay, well, so she's been seen beyond the school grounds. But then very soon after that, this person came back to the police and said, I'm really sorry, I've stuffed up. That was actually the day before. That was Saturday, not Sunday, that I saw her do that. And so that then shifted their thinking as well. So they went back to looking at the school. So at the school, they were going, okay, this has to be in the last place that she was seen. So obviously with those communications from her laptop, the logins from the room,
alarm
all
system,
those sorts of things.
Yeah.
And they started looking at who else was there. And there was a report from a neighbour from the school who said that they had seen this other person's car at the car park there alongside Stephanie's. So that sort of flagged them to be starting to look at this person who else was on the grounds. They wanted to talk to them about what they had seen and what time did Stephanie leave and all these sorts of things. So I believe that's sort of what flagged them to this person originally. So they went and had a chat with this person. So he was by the name of Vincent Stanford. Vincent had a conversation with the police and he said to them he didn't know too much, that he saw Stephanie, as we said, like in that room, and that she was on her computer, and that's really all he knew about that. And then they said, well, what did you do after you left the school? And he said that he went to a particular shop and he named that shop. And that immediately red flagged to this cop. Well, this being a small town.
It didn't though. He actually went back to the station and said to his sergeant, he said he was here, so I'm going to go and check that out. And the sergeant's like, it was Easter Sunday, mate.
Yeah.
The shop was shut. And he's like, oh, yeah.
Yeah.
So that actually, then he's like, you need to go out and re-interview him and figure out what happened.
Yeah.
And where he actually was.
Because
that's
he
actually
a red
did
flag.
That day. That's a big red
he's
flag.
lying about where he was, clearly. Because, that was basically, so from that, they've gone to his house.
Yes.
So to go, okay, we need to have another chat with him. When they've rocked up at the house, he wasn't home, but his mum was. Now, interestingly, so I guess it's a small town. These people had not been living in the town terribly long.
No.
But they were known because it was such a small place. People did know of them and all that sort of thing. But so they spoke to the mum, and the mum very much, when they said, like, can we come in, can we have a little look around? Mum was immediately like, yeah, sure, go for it. She was pretty keen for them to, I think, not keen for them to have a look around, but
she didn't.
She wasn't fazed by that. She wasn't concerned. So she let them do that. In there just looking around. So they don't have a warrant to search. They are not searching the property. They were looking around. They did not pick things up and lift things or open things. They looked, right? In looking, they saw a set of keys that looked very much like the keys that were identified as being the ones that should have been returned to this friend.
That's right.
Which were school keys. So by seeing that, that flagged enough for them to say, have reasonable grounds to have a search.
Get a warrant.
Actually have a warrant and search. So that search then brought up a whole lot of other stuff.
Oh, my God. So much stuff.
So much stuff.
So they got the warrant pretty much immediately, and they did the, essentially a forensic search to figure out what it was going on. They actually found outside the house, so still on the property, but not inside the home, they found a used condom that had been tied off. Inside the house, they found the packet to that used condom that had been ripped open, obviously, to be used. They during the search, Vincent came home.
Yes.
In his car. And immediately they seized his car, which was part of the warrant.
Yep.
And they said to him, hey, mate, where have you been? Like, what have you been doing? And he's like, oh, I've just been out taking photos. And they're like, oh, can we have a look at your camera? And he's like, yeah, sure.
Yeah.
What do they find on there, Meg?
Oh, God.
Oh,
So
it's actually horrible.
And it's literally the first photos they look at too, like, which is really,
the first two photos, literally.
Like, so he hadn't been out that day doing that? I don't know. Like, this is what
I believe he had been.
It was that day.
It was that day.
Oh, my God. So
this is the Monday.
Yeah, this is the Monday of
Easter Monday. So the day after Stephanie went missing.
So on this camera, they open it up and see a photo of clearly a burnt body. And when they ask him what is this and where has it come from, his response was that it was a screenshot that he'd taken of a horror movie. The police knew immediately that wasn't the case. They could tell that it was not that. But that was his response to it at the time.
You can tell when a photo's been taken of from a screen.
Oh, my God, yeah.
Like, and this was not that.
Yeah.
It was, it wasn't that.
And they could, even from this photo, they could tell it was a female body.
In a wooded area. That was kind of
the
all
they had from that photo. Yeah. But they would see it was a female body that was burnt. So, I mean, God, you have to be like, what the fuck? You've got your guy basically right here. Now you can become tunnel vision to me. Like, this is,
Well, the other things that they found in the home, just getting back to that.
Yes.
So, like, this was all happening concurrently. This was all happening at the same time.
Yeah.
They found a bra.
Yes.
And they found a knife. That actually still had some blood staining on it. So they're looking at that. They also then obviously search his car. There's some MDF board in the back of his car that had blood on it. And so they've obviously seized all of these things to then go and be forensically tested.
Yeah.
It's horrific because the other thing that they found on that camera roll was nearly 2,000 photos of young girls.
Yeah.
One particular girl there were a lot of photos of, a 12-year-old girl who was later found to be a student of Leeton High School. They found photos depicting bestiality and other lewd sexual acts on minors and women. And a lot of photos that the police could tell the women and girls were unaware that those photos were being taken of them.
It was really obvious he'd been stalking a number of people.
Yeah.
There were not photos of Stephanie.
No.
On the camera.
Aside from
well,
Well,
we're assuming.
Yeah.
At this point, but yeah, there were no photos of Stephanie like with her unknowingly being taken where other women known to Stephanie, even teachers from the school, students, as we said,
there
student.
There were two shopkeepers, so there were two different shops, and there was a woman from these two shops in Leeton that had a quite a large number of photos of those two women.
Yeah.
Just horrible.
Awful.
So Vincent Stanford, he was born on the 21st of December in 1990 in Tasmania. Mm-hmm. When he was, I think, 3 years old, he moved to the Netherlands with his mum. So his mum and dad split up and his mum was from the Netherlands, so they moved back there. He was an identical twin and he had another brother. And when they were, I think he was a young... It wasn't that... I think he was like 11 or 12 and they moved back to Australia.
Oh, no. I think it was older than that, actually.
Oh, was it?
Because,
so the incident with the teacher, did that happen in the Netherlands, did it?
Oh, now you've got me questioning that, actually.
I thought it happened here.
Yeah, no, I think you might be right. No, it might be earlier that he came back here, yeah.
Right. So I believe he was like roughly 10 when they moved back from the Netherlands.
Yeah.
When he was 12 years old, he choked a teacher. So apparently he was quite, like, he had a lot of behavioural issues at school. And on this particular day, he'd absconded and this teacher found him and went to grab his jacket to kind of, I guess, restrain him. I can't even imagine a teacher being in that situation. He's leaving the school. They've got responsibility. There's a duty of care. And anyway, so she's gone to grab his jacket, and with that, he's turned and choked her.
Yep.
She ended up in hospital. Unbelievable.
Yeah.
He ended up being expelled from that school, and he went to a school that...
Behavioural school, they kind of call it, which I don't know what that
would be.
I don't know what sort of... but some sort of focused school on children with challenging behaviours.
Yeah. Around this time, he was actually also diagnosed with autism and oppositional defiant disorder, ODD.
Yeah.
And it sounds to me like he had other really psychotic behaviours.
Well, let's really just say this. Two things can be true at the same time. He may have autism, but I do believe he had a whole lot of other things going on.
Oh, 100%.
And I do think that diagnostically, the ASD is not potentially the cause of these physically harmful...
Not at all.
Things that he did as a child and then as an adult. I think they're two separate issues going on for him personally.
I fully agree.
There's a lot of social stuff that he had issues with, and I can understand that being ASD traits.
Yep.
But these other intrusive thoughts, etc., that he described, basically having thoughts around wanting to kill people from the age of about 7.
Yes.
That stuff I don't... That to me is not symptomatic of like an ASD diagnosis. That's more psychopathic, and other things going on. So
definitely.
Yeah, I mean, I think the combination of the two would be, really challenging.
Yep.
But let's just say that.
Oh, definitely. There is no way that I'm saying that.
No.
Just because he's autistic, he's perpetrated something horrific or there's so much going on for this bloke.
Yeah.
All right. So he's obviously then arrested. And at the point where, the police have been conducting this search and found some very interesting and damning things.
The police do then at this point, they then find the car. So the car is found at about 8 kilometres away from...
11
kilometres, was it? From where they...
Not that it really matters, but yeah.
Well, about that, kind of... So about 11K away from the high school and where they live. And it's found in a paddock next to an irrigation ditch, which is full of water. So they did find the car there, which...
It was parked under a tree as well, which under a big tree, which is why they think when they did the aerial search of the area that they didn't see her car.
Right, yeah. So they do a massive search around then from the car, trying to find, is the body near here. They also then get a tip. Once they do find the car, they have a phone call come in saying that someone did see a person throwing something into a ditch near there. So that sent the divers out then into that water to then have a look as well. So the divers then were able to retrieve from there the laptop or an iPad?
Laptop. So the guy thought it was an iPad, but it ended up being her laptop.
It was a laptop. So it ended up being Stephanie's laptop. So this really sort of led to them to think, obviously Stephanie hasn't driven the car to here herself kind of thing and then thrown her laptop in there. That doesn't really make sense. So, so they found the laptop. Was there anything else they found in the water? No, there wasn't, was there? No, it's just the laptop there. So, this is all sort of coming together. But at this point, Vincent is still not saying anything until the 11th of April.
Yep.
Finally, on the 11th of April, he says that he wants to speak to the police officers. Now, unbeknownst to him, prior to him saying that, they actually did find her body. So they actually had another tip of someone else came in where they had identified an area that they had seen someone drive up to and dump something. And so they followed that up and it turned out that they did find Stephanie's body. 70 kilometres away from Leeton.
Yep.
So a fair drive out.
In Kokopara National Park.
Yeah.
So this was a place that Vincent frequented as a camper.
Yeah.
So it was an area that was very familiar to him. He did like to spend a lot of time on his own, and camping was one of the ways that he sort of, I guess, escaped and had that time. So, this area in particular was very familiar to him.
Yeah.
Are we going to get to the perpetration of it now?
So I mean, alongside them finding this body, basically then they do get a bit more of a story from him to then be able to marry up what's going on. So they don't tell him though that they have found her body.
No. They found her body the day before her wedding day. On the 10th.
And he finally confessed on the wedding day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so what he says happened.
Yeah, so his take is, well, one thing I'll just say, if you can see the interview tapes, they are out there. It is haunting how he speaks to this. The lack of emotion, which he admits to even, that he has no emotions. He talks about that of like, that's his autism, but I don't know.
Well, he says that he wasn't angry.
No.
He wasn't. We'll get to all of this, but he was, absolutely. Those interviews show he was emotionless, absolutely remorseless.
Absolutely.
He had zero empathy for what had happened to Stephanie, or even the fact that this impacted so many different people.
Oh. His words were, I think I went a little nuts. I just could not stop myself.
Okay. So what he says happened is on that day, he says that he had gone to the school to empty the bins and to do a little bit of cleaning.
Yeah.
Now,
he was not meant to be there at all. Like, so his employment was not actually directly to the school. There was a contract out by the department for the cleaning, and he was employed by a separate company. And there was no need for him to have keys to this school at all.
I believe that his contracted hours were like before school, like 6 till 8 a.m. or something. He would come and do something, and then he was allowed to then be on site after that as well. So I think the latest that he was, contracted to be at school was until like 7 or 8 p.m., something like that during the day, Monday to Friday only. There was no need for him to be there on the weekends. There was no need for him to be there on Easter Sunday.
No.
But, he was.
Yep.
So what he says is that he saw Stephanie about to leave. So obviously he'd seen that she was there.
Yep.
He saw that she was about to leave, and she'd said, "See you later, have a nice Easter." And with that, he grabbed her. So he explains in great detail which hand was where, and he put a hand over her mouth and the other hand around her waist to pull her in. He dragged her into a storeroom that used to be a photography darkroom, so it didn't have any windows, and it was sort of in an area of the school that was sort of quite secluded.
Yep.
There was another teacher who had come to the school that afternoon. So she arrived at the school, and when she arrived there, she was just dropping something off, I believe. Or she was there for a little bit of time though, because when she got there, she saw Stephanie's car and the white van in the car park. She then went about her thing. She said she did hear something that sounded like dragging, but she knew that the cleaner was there. So assume the cleaner was dragging something around. As you said, like you said exactly that. You explain those things away, of course you do.
Yep.
She then, when she left, Stephanie's car was no longer in the car park, but the white van was. So she was like, "Oh, Stephanie's gone. It's all good.
Yep.
Right, we're all sort of
She's
done."
She's been doing something in her classroom.
Yep.
Yep.
Anyone would explain it away in that way.
Yep.
What was actually going on at that time was that Vincent had dragged Stephanie into this storeroom. He had beaten her to death and also stabbed her.
He had punched her 30 to 40 times in the head.
Oh, my God.
After doing that, he then sexually assaulted her. After sexually assaulting her, he realised that maybe she's not dead.
Yep.
He took out his knife and slit her throat. Just stabbed her in the neck, sorry, I should say.
Yeah, just to make sure.
Just to make sure that
she was actually
dead.
After he did that, he felt a bit hungry.
Yeah.
So he got in his car.
No.
Oh, in her car?
Stephanie's car.
Sorry, he did.
Oh.
No, he did. He did.
Yep.
He went home and had a sandwich and a coffee.
With his mum.
Yep.
And his brother.
Yep.
His older brother.
Mm-hmm. Came back to the school and started cleaning up.
Yeah.
In doing so, he placed Stephanie's body in the boot of her own car.
Mm-hmm.
He then went back into the storeroom and cleaned it all up.
Mm.
He then drove Stephanie's car back to his mum's place.
Parked it at the back shed.
Yep. Until the early hours of the morning, in which he drove to the national park. And
overnight, I believe he transferred her body to his car. So he must have gone back to the school at some point and collected his own car.
He did, sorry, you're absolutely right.
And then he's transferred the body into his car, and then the next morning driven her car to where it was eventually found, drove it there, left it there, dropped the laptop in the irrigation ditch. He's then walked home from there. So as we say, it was only sort of 11K out of town, but he's then walked that distance back home again.
Taken her body.
And so, then taken his car and driven it 70K out of town to where he's eventually dumped the body.
He then used petrol to ignite her body and the area around her body.
The way he describes that in his interview, I find particularly off-putting, because the cops are asking specific questions around, well, how did you light it? What did you use a match? Did you, sort of thing. And the way he clarifies, his response and things, that's really chilling. It's so, I can't even describe it. It's the weirdest thing I've ever seen, I reckon. The way he just sort of, oh, no, I did it like this.
Yeah. And then the police officer the detective interviewing him said, did you stand there and watch it? And he's like, no, as soon as it was the light, I just sort of left. I knew what was going to happen.
Yeah. It's, I watched for a minute maybe.
Yeah.
But then just went. It's so detached. It's creepy.
So detached. Oh, sorry. I actually forgot one thing.
Oh, yeah.
So when he saw that she was at the school, this was before.
Yeah.
He actually went home and got what he calls his rape kit.
Yes. Yeah. Yep.
Which included Viagra, handcuffs, the knife, cleaning products. The police, when they looked on his computer, found a Google history with terms like bride rape.
So apparently he did this in the car on the way, when he got back from getting his rape kit.
Necrophilia. Bride raped with wedding gown. The police asked him why he kept her bra, and he said, it's because it was mostly clean. I don't really know. I guess it was a trophy, a keepsake. They said, did you wash it? And he's like, yeah, I chucked it in the machine, in the washing machine. And then he's just left it on the floor of his bedroom. It's fucking weird. It's really so bizarre. Weird.
The other thing he does, they then ask him about is, because obviously, unbeknownst to him, they found the body. And so they're saying to him and what about her engagement ring and her other jewellery? Where's that? And he can see him change a little bit in this questioning.
Definitely.
And he goes, oh, no, I can't remember. No, I think I took them off her at the school. No, I did that when she was in the car at home. And he changed his story a number of times and kind of, because he can't get it to fit.
And then he's like, I don't know. Yeah, I don't know what happened.
Can't remember. I just can't remember in all of that. What
although he remembers in meticulous detail all the other shit,
literally meticulous detail, where his hands were, almost enjoying telling that kind of stuff. Whereas this bit, he just kind of goes, I don't remember. Yeah, when I took those off her. Turns out he took those off her and he mailed them to his identical brother in South Australia. His brother Marcus received those goods, and he then disposed of them. Now, he knew at this point what was being sent to him and why he needed to get rid of them. That was proven in all of this. So he ended up getting $750 he pawned them at a pawn shop.
It's disgusting.
So awful.
It was her engagement ring and then also
graduation ring.
A graduation ring her mum and dad had bought her when she graduated from university.
Yeah.
He also mailed Marcus her driver's license.
That's right.
Marcus burnt that.
Yes.
As you said, he pawned the jewellery, and unfortunately the person who bought the jewellery melted it down and sold it for the the precious metal.
Yep.
And so there is no way the family could ever get, it's not like they could go to the pawn shop and buy them. They'd already been bought and melted down. It's just awful.
That is awful. I actually thought that maybe Aaron had got those things back.
No, he didn't.
Yeah,
He didn't.
That's awful.
Marcus was charged with being an accessory after the fact of murder, and he was sentenced to 15 months in prison. People say that was woefully inadequate, and so he was actually extradited to New South Wales for that charge and for his imprisonment. When he was released from prison, he went back to live with his mum in Leeton, and they were literally, I think they lasted 2 days before they had to move back.
That was a good way to go. The fact that he's identical, and I mean identical brother.
Oh, they are.
Would have just been so upsetting to people to see him around town.
Yeah.
How dare they?
How dare they?
I really was fuming when I read that.
Yeah.
I just find that so thoughtless. No matter, because he tries to make out when he came out of jail, he was like, I have nothing to do with my brother. I don't want anything to do with him. His line is that, what he did was horrible and doesn't agree with it. I don't care. Then use your brain and don't go moving back into that town.
I can't,
What the fuck? However, he's also a sack of shit.
Yeah.
So just last year, end of last year, November, there was a manhunt out for him after a physical abuse of it wasn't, I can't find out whether it was male or female that the abuse occurred against. But yeah, he's obviously also a piece of shit.
Did this happen in Tasmania? Because isn't he living with his dad in Tassie at the minute?
Must have.
Yeah.
Must have.
Yep.
Yep. Oh, God. Yes.
Absolutely horrific.
Yep. So obviously, as we say, Vincent does confess with a few holes in his story.
Well, he never admits to the sexual assault.
No, he won't admit to that completely. No, he talked about the fact that he did hit her and that he stabbed her, but he never went anywhere near talking about he wouldn't have that he sexually assaulted her.
He had scratches all over his face, so Stephanie was definitely fighting for her life, which...
God.
Oh, it's just horrible.
That's horrible.
Yeah. Poor girl.
So obviously he's charged with her murder, and also the sexual assault.
Aggravated sexual assault.
He's charged with both because they do have evidence of that. So that's also put onto him as well.
Why do you think he admitted to the murder but not to the sexual assault?
Yeah, there's got to be something in that psychologically for him in terms of what he perceives as being worse than the other or being able to be accepted.
Like
I don't know.
I don't know. I mean, rape worse than murder, but he was
just
free.
Fucking awful.
The worst.
Yeah.
The worst. But he was freely admitting to the killing, like he was almost a bit...
Yeah, there's some sort of shame around the sexuality of it. But why? Who knows? I mean, there's got to be something in his past that's created this. To be honest, I think there's...
In the investigation of all this as well, and I think this is noteworthy,
yeah,
when they were looking into all of these photos of these young girls and in particular this 12-year-old schoolgirl, they interviewed him about that, they asked him about that, but he was meticulous in his stalking of these women.
He was documenting
everything. So he documented about this 12-year-old girl. There was an entry that was like 1540, at home alone, time to abduct.
Long enough time to abduct.
Yeah, enough time to abduct or something. I'm like, fucking hell.
He was
it could have easily been that girl.
This is it.
Stephanie could have been this girl.
Yeah. You will not convince me of anything to say that he decided in that moment.
He was going to be a serial killer.
Yeah. As he put it, I just went a little nuts and, I couldn't stop myself in the moment. No, sorry. No. He's been looking for a scenario where he can enact this.
Yeah.
And, I look at like the fact that he had photos of other women on his camera that he was stalking and not Stephanie. But so I do think it was a bit opportunistic in that I think he followed her to the school. I think he saw her doing that and was like, oh, there's going to be no one else there. I can, use this to my advantage.
Yeah.
But that doesn't mean there's not pre-planning. Like there was definite pre-planning. I mean, the rape kit that he had
exactly. And he'd ordered all of that stuff.
And he called it that. That's what he called it.
He'd ordered the handcuffs and the knife from I don't know if it wasn't Amazon. I don't even know. Maybe it was. I don't know. But he'd ordered that stuff.
Online,
so he had 100% premeditated it.
Yeah.
Whether it was maybe not premeditated murdering Stephanie, but someone.
This was something he was planning to do and was waiting for his moment.
He would have done this again.
Without
a shadow of a doubt.
Absolutely. Oh, God, yeah. I think that's the thing we have to understand that these people that are think like this will do this multiple times. Yeah. This is not a one-off.
The police asked him in his interview, why did you do this? And he said, I think I've got mental problems.
Yeah, he just kept going back to that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So he was recognising it in himself that it was wrong on some level, but not enough to stop himself.
Yeah. So in October of 2016, Justice Robert Holm sentenced Vincent to life in prison without the possibility of parole.
Yep, that was for the murder.
The murder. He said and then he got 15
years
for the aggravated rape.
Yeah, with no parole or no, He said that just doesn't even,
no minimum.
No minimum.
He said there's no need to put it would be moot basically.
Yeah.
He said that the crime fell into the worst category of murder and that his lack of remorse and extreme violence of the attack and the calculated nature of the cover-up led to the sentence. It's just absolutely horrific.
Yeah.
I think at least the fact that he pled guilty meant that a trial didn't have to happen.
Yeah.
Maybe that's a slightly saving grace for her family. I'm not really sure.
His defence lawyers really laid on thick the fact that he was diagnosed ASD. And then the court, which thankfully they ruled that did not reduce culpability whatsoever.
Because they had their own psychological assessments done, and those psychological assessments said that he was a psychopath.
Yeah, absolutely.
And he was unable to be rehabilitated.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Thank God they did that.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Oh, yeah. God. Yeah, they called his actions one of the worst categories of murder.
Yeah. Absolutely it is.
Yeah.
It's just horrific. Absolutely horrific. So, now, I guess what happened after?
Yep. This poor town, I mean, God, they really did take this so, bad. It wasn't good. They had a beautiful memorial, sort of spot where at the school when they were looking for it, etc. There was people gathered there. The town were shook, big time by this because they are such a small community that for one of their own to be taken like that, and that someone in their own community could perform that on someone who lived in the local community. It just seems so, oh God, so shit. So
shit. Her family and Aaron, I mean, he's her family.
Yeah.
They were really open to the community that Stephanie lived in, and so much so that on the day that was supposed to be their wedding, they invited the town to the local park and they released yellow. Everyone came dressed in yellow, which was Stephanie's favourite colour, and they released yellow balloons in her memory on what should have been the best day of her life.
Yeah, because she was so looking forward to that day.
So looking forward to getting married. A lot of people had travelled from overseas, interstate, and from, far away, given that Leeton was such a small town, supposedly for her wedding, but it ended up they were there for her funeral. Which is just horrible.
Absolutely.
Stephanie's family and her fiancé, Aaron, launched a civil suit against the New South Wales Department of Education for more stringent screening processes for non-teaching staff and contractors of schools, like cleaners, maintenance workers, anyone who's coming on a school premises. The matter was settled confidentially, so we don't know how that was settled or what kind of monetary exchange there was for that. But it did prompt a review of how background information is shared across borders within Australia, because what came to pass was that in Tasmania, Vincent actually did have charges for assault, I believe.
Yeah.
And obviously when he was employed into the New South Wales Department of Education through this contractor, they didn't know that.
And the fact that he even, as a 12-year-old, attacked a teacher, to me, that's someone who then has had a bad experience within the school environment. Psychologically, that's then someone who could perform those acts again as an adult against a teacher. And I wonder whether there is something in a bit more in that of whether he had some sort of disdain for teachers and why then it became a teacher that he targeted.
That's interesting. I actually hadn't thought about that, but yeah.
Yeah. I mean, schools can be really great places for people. They can be really shit places for people. And if you've had a bad experience and you also have, mental health and psychological issues,
of other things going on,
that's maybe not the best place for you to work.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
So if nothing else, I guess that kind of came of it. After the sentencing, Stephanie's family came out to say that they did a press conference just out the front of the courthouse, and they pretty much said, we really thank everybody for their support. We're so glad to be able to get Stephanie's, all of the good things about her out there and the fact that we've had all of this support, but we're actually not going to be doing any more interviews. We're sort of done. We need to now privately grieve and figure out how to live life.
Let the music back in, they said.
That's it. Now, he was sentenced the day before her 28th birthday, I believe it was. Yeah. And so what they asked was that everyone had a mint slice and a cup of tea.
At 3 p.m.
Yeah, at 3 p.m. the following date in her memory and in her honour.
I did that last night before we did this.
Oh,
I had a tea
so nice.
while I read over my notes and a mint slice because I just felt like that was respectful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think if you're going to honour the memory of people like that, it's thinking about them in the way that they would want to be remembered. And I'm sure, she would want to be remembered as the magnificent human being that she was.
Yeah.
I feel really sad that she never got to have children of her own. And have that wedding that she was so looking forward to.
Her life with Aaron. Yeah.
Aaron moved to Europe after this because he just needed to get away and have a bit of space. And while he was over there, he actually met, I believe, an Australian woman by the name of...
Oh, I haven't got her name. It was like 5 years after her death, though. So, there was a big gap, as in, between.
Of course, it took him time.
But he's met someone who's really special to him.
Is her name.
I think, that rings a bell. I didn't write it down, though.
They are now married and they have a daughter, and...
She looks like Stephanie.
She does. She does look like, not the daughter, the wife.
No, the wife. Yeah.
They do look very similar, but I'm glad that he was able to find love again.
Yeah. I know that Stephanie would want that for him.
Oh, definitely. Nothing will ever erase what he and Stephanie had, and I'm just glad that he was able to find love and find support in the way that he has.
Yeah, absolutely. Unfortunately, that's not the end of the tragedy for this family, though.
It's not.
Which is this is awful.
Yeah.
I believe it was about a year after the sentencing or a year after a death. Year after the sentencing?
No, sentencing.
Sentencing, wasn't it?
Yeah.
A freak accident, unfortunately. Her dad was killed by a tree that fell on him.
On their property.
It's just, that's awful. Yeah. I mean,
as if a family hasn't been through enough tragedy as it is for it to strike twice.
God, I mean, all I can say of that is that they'll be together, and that's the only comforting thing I think you can have from that her and her dad will have each other together. But that's just too soon and too awful for the family left behind.
I don't even know how her mum would cope. How her mum would cope with that.
No.
To lose Stephanie in that way and then to lose her husband in that way. Fuck. Oh my God.
Yeah. Absolutely. I mean, God, she's been through the ringer. I mean, no one deserves all that tragedy in their life, God.
No, not at all.
But we're thinking of them, that's for damn sure. And I think all we can do from a distance is hope that she knows that people are, thinking of them and that she's got this.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because, oh my God, I can't even imagine being the family of someone whose daughter, friend, sister disappears and that this is then what you find out about it all. I know. It's just
when
awful.
I started researching this and I found that Aaron had spent that afternoon and evening, he'd cancelled those dinner plans, he actually rang to cancel the booking and stuff. So I'm like, he knew she wasn't going to be home. Why didn't he go to the police earlier? But I actually do, when I stop and think about it, I do actually get it.
Because you'd think like, I'm just being silly. She's going to walk through the door.
Yeah. And then I'll have been to the police and I'm like, that idiot.
Station?
Yeah.
And she's going to come home with like such an explanation as to why this has occurred. Because he knew her so well.
Yeah.
Like he wasn't concerned in that she was doing something like disappearing in cold feet for the wedding.
No, that's right.
That would have not have been what he would have thought at all, because that's not who she was. So I guess in his mind he's like, oh, she's going to rock in here and we're going to have the biggest laugh eventually about whatever has happened.
Or I'll be shitty because she should have let me know where she was. But,
but she's going to there's going to be a reason.
Yeah.
I can understand.
I can too. And
convincing
when
yourself
you think about it.
Of like why this is not like, you feel like an idiot of like going, like, why would I need, how many people do I alert about this when she's just going to walk through the door in a minute?
Yeah, exactly.
Oh God. That's all. And that's the thing. I'm sure he beats himself up over like, not that I don't think him, getting to the police it wouldn't have made any difference.
He wasn't even in Leeton when she was murdered. He was still travelling home. So, there's nothing he could have done. And I really hope he doesn't blame himself.
No, not at all. I mean, you can do the whole like, what if I'd said I wouldn't go to that party? She still would have gone to work that day, Like, so him not even being in town wouldn't have
made a difference
whether he was there or not, because she would have still gone and done because of who she was as a person in her core. She was a dedicated teacher and didn't want to leave her students high and dry while she was having her honeymoon. She would have gone to that school. She would have gone on her own. That's what would have happened. And you should be able to go and do into your workplace
and be safe
and do those things. I mean, as I say, I've done it a million times over myself, and you're fine. Like, it's, you worry about every noise, but whatever. And she would have done the same thing and gone like, yeah, I'm being silly at noises or whatever, or this other person wandering around. Well, he's meant to be here.
Yeah.
Wasn't meant to be there, but she had every right to think that he was allowed to be there.
Oh, for sure.
There's no reason why she would have thought any different of a cleaner wandering around.
No.
Like, not at all. That's God. That's normal. Yeah. Especially in the school holidays. They come in and get jobs done they can't do when the students are here.
That's it. Or they do a deeper clean. They might be like doing carpets.
You always get the carpets team clean on holidays or whatever. Yeah. But there's always cleaners floating around during the holidays more so. She wouldn't have thought anything of it. It's not on her. It's not on him. It's on Vincent.
That's it.
And he's fucked up brother as well.
Yeah.
His dad has also come out and spoken about him being in jail and they have nothing to do with him. That they do have massive issue with what he did. So I guess that's one thing, but I don't know. There's a responsibility there with, I think the family. I do think also his education as well, that at times where there could have been points where it could have been intervened with these behaviours. He was clearly someone who had issues.
Well, the fact that at 7 years of age he fantasised about killing someone.
And the fact that they knew that, like that had come out during certain psychological assessments around. I mean, I think I question like the ASD diagnosis. I somewhat question. I'm not saying it's not there, but I just wonder whether it's just misdiagnosed, kind of thing, and that with certain traits overlapping with others, with other traits of other things.
Do you mean with like a personality disorder or something like that?
Yeah,
or,
yeah.
Okay.
I sort of feel like you could say like the social anxiety and all those sorts of things that he had could be, come under an ASD diagnosis, but they could also come under a psychopath's diagnosis.
Absolutely.
So I think that there's
crossover for sure.
Yeah, and as I said, two things can be true at once.
Yep.
So he could have both. I'm not saying that's not, but I do think that it's missed what else was going on.
Sure.
Because a kid who behaves the way he did and strangling somebody at the age of 12, we have to consider what's going on here to create that. At this, what was going on there?
I wonder, this behavioural school that he went to, I wonder if there were interventions there.
This is the thing. You got to wonder what interventions there were in place.
Yeah, I couldn't find what the school was or anything like that, because I was interested. I'm like, what is a behavioural school and what happens there? Like, because I get it. There are
do
kids
they still
who
exist?
Yeah, there are kids who fall outside of the scope of mainstream schooling. I understand that, but what is the Department of Education doing for them? How are they supporting them? How are they managing them? And where does that responsibility lie as well? I mean, it's a tough one because, I mean, obviously eventually you age out of school, don't you? And he was in his how old was he? He was 20 something at the time
24.
of this. Yeah. So
looks a lot older than 24, but
he does. But and he and his brother, they look. I mean, obviously they're identical. They look the same. They look
2
really
years younger
old.
than Stephanie, but to be honest, he looks far older than
10
Stephanie.
years older.
Easy, yeah.
Easy, yeah.
He was also rejected from joining the army.
Yeah.
Which I find interesting again, that there's another point of intervention there of like, not saying the army's then responsible for it, but surely if there's red flags on someone being rejected from the army, that there couldn't be redirections in a government sense of like going, hey, this person didn't get in because of these factors.
It was the psychological assessment that he failed. But I would imagine a lot of people would fail for a lot of different reasons.
Totally, but surely the reasons why he failed.
Do you think that the army then had a duty of care to follow that through?
Oh, well, maybe not follow through entirely, but at least redirect, refer on.
Yeah, okay.
I do think that if, as a psychologist, even under that umbrella, going, hang on a minute, this, I can see why he wants to join the army. I mean, his Vincent's own description of that is that he didn't know what to do with himself and what he fitted into. And so he decided the army could be a place where he could find discipline, etc.
He also found it really hard to get a job.
Yes.
Because he didn't interview well.
No.
And he wasn't personable. He was weird.
Yeah.
And so, the job that he got, as we spoke about before, it was a 5-week contract originally because they desperately apparently really needed someone quick, smart.
Yeah.
And then I think he must have been doing an okay job because they sort of continued that contract on then.
Yeah.
But that was the only job he could find in and around the town. And he had tried multiple things, even in towns nearby, and he couldn't gain employment. So
we should also say too, he was flagged. I mean, I don't know if people spoke about this after the fact. I don't know what reports were made at the time, but he was known to be hovering around the girls' toilets at the school. I know,
and that's what was it not reported until after this? Because, I mean, I guess there's a reasonable reason that a cleaner would be in a toilet, right?
Yeah, you would sort of be like, okay, well, like he's in here to clean something, or, he's waiting out the front till we're finished to come in or to clean something. But he wasn't even meant to be at the school
at that time.
Which
that's right.
That's not on students or teachers to know that.
No.
But someone at that school had to have known what the contract was and why. What was he doing there?
At my work, we have male cleaners, and they are. The protocol is they knock on the door, and if anyone says, yes, we're in here or whatever, or they get a female to go and check and see if there's anyone in the toilets. Mm-hmm. If there's not, they'll go in and clean. They put their sign up, they go in and clean. If there is, they respectfully wait out until everyone's finished and out of there, and then they go in and clean. Like that should be the process at any school.
Yep.
That's just the way it should be. The fact that
they were the cleanest toilets in any high school ever because they're always gross. Like,
was he actually cleaning though? Probably not. He was just lurking around and
stalking. Let's call it what it really was.
Yeah.
Like there's all these. I just feel like there was points of intervention that were overlooked. And I think as a society we need to get better at calling the stuff out. I know that means put people in awkward positions of like feeling like, because you're innocent until proven guilty. But you also just need to, I think things should be flagged more.
Yeah.
And more things could be put in place at times at intervention points to avoid things.
I think you're right. It's really hard though where responsibility lies at the end of the day. But you're right. There were multiple points here where things could have been different.
I don't think he would have changed no matter what intervention happened in terms of his psychological state. But at least we could have avoided him being in a situation like working in that scenario where he could be alone with somebody. He needed more eyes over him and he needed more happening in the background.
Agreed.
Yeah.
May Stephanie's memory live on. I mean, I feel like we talked about in a Patreon episode recently about cases that that come to our mind frequently or things that cases that we think about a lot. And when I was researching this, I'm like, oh yeah, this is actually one of them for me. I didn't mention it at the time, but I do maybe not as frequently as the ones that I mentioned in our Patreon episode, but this is one that I do think about from time to time.
Oh, definitely. This one hit me when it happened. It really hit me hard because being at the time I was actually on mat leave with my first, and I remember at the time going, holy fuck, That could be any one of my friends working in schools, because we've all done it.
Yep.
We've all been in schools in those scenarios on our own.
Yep.
I know now there are many more checks and balance these days in terms of signing in and everyone knowing where you are and who's there.
Working with children's checks and that kind of thing as well that might bring up.
They might now start doing something. They're pretty much in the past have been like not worth the paper they're written on.
Yeah.
As much as like I think it would stop someone who thought something might get flagged by it applying for a job like that and then requiring one.
Yep.
Maybe. But to
police checks if nothing else. Like if this contractor had just done a police check, they would have known that he'd been arrested for an assault, like an aggravated assault.
Yeah, but see, the police check's very different to a working with children's check in the past.
Yeah.
So they're now changed. But so in the past those things wouldn't have flagged. But I mean, not that the person applying for one would have known that at the time.
Yes.
So if you did have things in your past, yes. But then there's always those people who haven't yet done it. Can get a working with children's check because it's kind of thing. So it's not to say that isn't,
or haven't been caught.
Haven't been caught yet. That's a whole other issue.
That's a whole other issue.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
But yeah, you'd hope that anyone now in those situations has those checks. But working with children's check isn't necessarily going to stop you from having someone who around adults who's.
That's it.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
Because technically, I guess he shouldn't have ever been there when a student was there.
That's right. Yeah. So, yeah.
So maybe, I don't know. It's so complex.
It really is.
It's really complex.
It really is.
All right. Well, thank you everybody for joining us again this week.
Yes.
We look forward to bringing you another episode next week. As always, you can hit us up on the socials. We love engagement over there. You can message us on Instagram, Facebook, through Spotify or Apple Podcasts. Leave us a review if that's something that you feel compelled to do. That really helps get our podcast out to more and more people. And we really appreciate your support.
Should we do a little teaser of what's to come soon that we've been working on, or you've been working on, I should say?
We can. Yes. Okay. We're right. We
do
can.
A little teaser.
A little teaser. Merch. That's all I'm going to say for now.
We may have found a way.
We may have found a way. I'm pretty sure we have. But stay tuned.
More to come. More to come.
Yep.
Stay curious, crime besties.
Bye.